Alright, now we're going to look at page 89 of your workbook now. Now, this is a revision of your P4 work. First part here, they ask you to find the size of unknown angle. It's given, the lines are drawn for you, but make it clearer. So I'm going to draw a line down here. Now, based on the lesson earlier, you should know that you should be using the inner ruler here, the scale here, to look at the angle. So 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110. It's in between 110 and 120, so this is 115. So your answer will be 115. Then there must be a unit, and unit is a small little circle on the top right corner called 115 degrees. Now, and this angle is bigger than 90 degrees. If it's larger than 90 degrees, it's called an obtuse angle, and that's how you spell obtuse, O-B-T-U-S-E. Now, next question here. Now, this is again an angle that is larger than 90 degrees, so it must be an obtuse angle. Now, then how would you find out what is the size of this angle? This angle is from here all the way here, and it's very wide angle. It's like this thing spreading all the way out, like this, a fan. Okay, so if I make it clearer to you, I will draw a line out. And let's take a look. So we start from here. You're using the inner ruler here to look at it. So 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, 160, 170. And you look at this part, it's not exactly 170, it's 172. 172. So here is 172 degrees. Then look at the next one now. This angle, now part C. Now where is 90 degrees? This is 90, right? So if this angle is only up to here, which means that this angle is actually smaller than 90. It didn't even touch 90. So we will start from this 0, the outer scale here. 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Exactly at 80 degrees. And this is an angle smaller than 90. So we call it an acute angle. Acute angles are angles smaller than 90. Next one. Now this line here touches 90 exactly. So this is what I call a right angle. Alright, something right angle, you will draw a little square to represent it. Now, 90 degrees, right angle. Do your corrections and then turn to the next page. Now we're on page 90. Now these are about naming the correct angles. So refer to what we discussed earlier on about naming. You can look at the worksheet when you're doing the correction as well. Don't just depend on the video. Alright, we talk about naming angles. Refer back to this worksheet that we were doing earlier on naming angles. Right, now you're given the capital letters, uppercase letters here. So use the uppercase letter to name this angle. They ask you which angle is equal to 60. For example here, 0 to 60, right? You see 60 here? So you're referring to this angle. And what will this angle be? Now, and where's the vertex? Vertex is 0, right? It's a circle, it's O here, O. So angle, this angle can be called XOW. It can also be called angle WOK. Okay, so I'll give two possible answers. Angle XOW. These are all in the uppercase, means they're all in capital letters. Or there's called angle WOX. Right, that is the correction for this part. Next one, this one is 110. So let's look at 110. 110 is here, right? It's 110. Now, to get the 110, where do we start? Do we start from this 0 or we start from this 0? We start from the 0 on the left. Why? Because if you look at the scale, right? Imagine it's a ruler. 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110. If you start from this part, you'll be wrong because this is 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. It's not 110. Okay? So therefore, this angle here to get 110 is formed or made by these two lines. The line WO, the line YO. And therefore, this angle can be called angle WOY, right? WOY, all in capital letters, or it can be called YOW. Angle YOW. Now, next one, similarly, let's look for angle 145. You know this is an obtuse angle, right? 145, so it must be a big angle. Let's look for 145. Yes, I found it. So this line here is where 145 is. Now I must decide, okay, which 0 do I begin with? If some of this 0, it will be wrong because this will be 0, 10, 20, 30, 35 is here. It's not 145. So it must be formed by the line NM, M is the vertex, NM and MK. This will get to 145. So your answer can be angle NMK, all in capital letters, or angle the other way, KMN. KMN. Now, the other angle 35 is a much smaller angle. And where's 35? I found 35. 35 is here. Okay, see, between 30 and 40 is 35. So how do I get to this number? I use the scale on the left, starting from 0 here, 0, 10, 20, 30. Therefore, this angle 35 is formed between the lines NM and JM. So answer can be angle JMN in all in capital letters, or angle NMJ, all in capital letters. Now, let's go to the last part. Now, the earlier questions we were asked to name angles, find angles, but here is measure. When I talk about measuring, you've got to use an instrument, a tool, something like a ruler or a protractor. That's why you've been reminded to bring a protractor since last week. Now, measure each unknown angle with a protractor. So this is a protractor. Now, so I will put this, make sure that this part here of the protractor, right, this part is touching the vertex. Okay, now I put it here. So it looks like this. Make sure this yellow line is in line with this part, this bottom line of the protractor as well. Is this correct? No. Is this correct? No. Is this properly placed now? No, because it's not placed at the vertex. So this is properly placed now. Then I look at where it cuts. But the problem is this line is too short. So when this happens, what you got to do is use your pencil to extend this line. So you're able to see it further. Now, I don't have a pencil, so I'm using a pen. You should always use a pencil to do it. So yeah, mistake you can always erase. See? Extend it. Why must I extend it? Because once I extend the line, I'm able to see where this line cuts on my protractor. Now, right, it starts from this side. So I use the outer scale 0, 0 all the way to 90, 100, 130. And this is almost in between 130 and 140. It's at 134. It's at 134. So the answer here is 134 degrees. Now, but yet I'll still mark this correct. Why? Now, based on my answer, I will always give a plus minus 1 degree tolerance. So if your answer is 133 degrees, I will say, yeah, that's fine. If it's 135 degrees, I'll say that's fine. And mine is 134. So this is what I mean by 1 degree allowance for your answer. Okay? But if it's too far off, 132, 131, of course, that'll be wrong. Now, next one, you see, when I don't see lines extending out, I know something is not done to the best. So I got to make sure I extend the line out. So I'm able to see where the line cuts my protractor. Okay. Now, so you do it this way. Place. Now, just tell me, is it placed correctly? Right, it's wrong. Is it placed correctly now? It's wrong. It must touch the vertex. Here must touch this part of the protractor. Now, I make sure it's touching. Is it correctly placed now? No, this yellow line is not touching the bottom line of my protractor. So finally, okay, I think I've adjusted correctly. I need to press to hold on to it. If I don't press, you'll go out of position again. Alright, see, you got to be careful. Now I see where this red line cuts my protractor. I see is I should start from this 0. So I go from 0, 10, 20. It cuts at 29. Alright, at 29. On my protractor, it cuts at 29. Okay, here is 29. So therefore, if my answer is 29 degrees, I will accept 30 degrees also. I will accept 28 degrees as well. This will be wrong. Now, why is this wrong? Because this means that this student used this 0 on this side and was looking at this number instead. But remember, this angle is formed between this line on the right and this line on the right. So the angle should only be this part. So you start counting from this 0 on the protractor. Now, this is part of the lesson is for the corrections of the work that you did on Monday and submitted on Tuesday.